Thank you for picking up the sticks. This is episode 123 Sticks Gaming Podcast. I am Mike Carnett. To my actual right is Mike Carnia.
What's going on?
To my actual left, Art. He memorized all the patch notes for the new Cyberpunk patch. Rosian.
Nope.
And go. I just need to just give me just start.
I can tell you one of them. They corrected the spelling of Night City on a sign leaving town.
That's good. That's a plus.
They misspelled night.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
And people just don't randomly run into you and they're in the street anymore. Like they should avoid you, which is nice. And cops just don't spawn right behind you when you do something bad, which is also very nice.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
So little things like that. I still haven't played it again since the new stuff came out or whatever it is. But I at some point I will play that game again. I don't know when though. I still sitting there.
Maybe in the fall or next year when they release the actual next gen patch. Probably next year.
You're not
Yeah,
going to
probably.
play it because then new games will be coming out.
I know
that's
that's the
true,
thing.
too.
It's going to be the classic thing.
You have a lull now.
I know, and I've been filling it with some real nonsense that I'll share in a minute. But yeah, so last time we all got together, we all talked about like first-party studios and what they're making, what they might be making, things like that. So we're going to run through first-party Sony, first-party Microsoft, and kind of go through what they are making and what we think they're making in a little bit. But first, Steak, what you playing?
All right. Not a lot.
Hey,
Taking his book out of page out of Art's book.
should have copyrighted that shit, my man.
Now, what am I supposed to lead with? I'm going to copyright that and Game Pass. Why not?
That's right. That is right.
No, I don't know. No, I just been in a little bit of a funk. Not much has been grabbing me until like the last couple of days, honestly. But I've been still nerding it out. I've been catching up on rewatching the Marvel movies again before
For what,
Black
the
Widow.
fifth time?
For pretty much. But the first time in 4K and Dolby Atmos.
Oh.
It's
It's completely different.
It is completely different. So I've got a couple hours into Octopath Traveler on the 360. Oh my god.
Wow.
The Series
Wow.
X. I was talking retro
Wow.
games about an hour ago, and that's why it was in my
Wow.
head.
Retro 360 games.
Yeah, right. Exactly. For the Series X.
Opposite of backwards compatibility.
Yeah, going way back. But no, the game still looks great. I forgot that. I kind of remember why I kind of gave up on it to begin with. So we'll see how it goes. Because it's good, but man, when you first start off, when you meet a new character, you start off you could skip this, but if you skip it, you're missing a ton of the background of a character. So if you watch the background story of each character when you first meet them, it takes a while. And it's not always super exciting. I mean, it's a little boring. It's cool. It's it's interesting, but it's so you want to know it, but at the same time, it's all right, come on, let's keep moving. The music's great. The gameplay is fantastic. I love the turn-based. It looks great. But I don't know. We'll see. It's nice having that motivation of earning trophies or achievements.
Yeah.
Instead of on the Switch where you earn nothing for your time.
Give me a sound. Give me something.
Oh, God. So I can't believe Nintendo still has not done anything. That is the only reason why I don't play as much as I would on my Switch.
It's and it's oddly. Again, it's one of those things. I mean, Achievement's been around since 360. Trophy's been around since PlayStation 3, and Nintendo's not even trying to do either one of them.
Right.
And it's just I don't know. I can't even start solving Nintendo's problems right now.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's weird. So, hang on 1 second.
Oh, geez, here we go again.
It's always the problem we have.
So good to be back.
There we go.
In person.
Did you ever try
here's
the report on the...
Well, here's the thing. What I think, I think that's what it might be. I think it might be the on this because I don't know. I don't give us the same mics every time. So
that's
I
true.
put them under here and I just grab them and I put them out. I don't pay attention. Same with the cables. I don't pay attention to the cables, but it seems to always be because now my levels are skyrocketing compared to earlier. So I might have to move me to number 4 maybe over there.
I'll say when we're done here, change all the dials and
I was like,
knobs
I'm gonna have to
and
do that
put
next
it
time.
over,
Yeah.
Then when you're done, just take a piece of electrical tape and put it over the number 1.
Yeah.
right.
There we go. That reminds me exactly.
We could buy a new one too. It's been 4 years. I mean, just maybe. This is all the original equipment.
but
Outside the
both of
cords.
yours work
The cords
fine.
are-
That's
That's
as
true.
far as I
That's
know.
Before we
So
drop money on a new thing, let's figure out if that's
at least we
actually
have a
the problem.
4th one. And
That's
saying
true.
we don't have guests anymore. So
I've been accused of throwing money at problems in the past. So this wouldn't be the first time I've done that.
Don't get me wrong. I do that.
nothing wrong with that at all. No.
I do that too. But
Yes.
let's make sure we're throwing money at the right problem before.
I guess
That's right.
I guess that makes sense.
So the other thing that I've been playing and gotten back into, and I think this is where I think my funk is finally ending because I'm the last couple nights I put in a decent amount of hours. Immortals: Phoenix Rising.
All right.
So finally gotten back into that. And man, I forgot that game. It's so colorful. It's so good. Like it's a lot of fun to play. It's challenging without being overly challenging. And just the story is cool. The whole world is awesome. So I've been really, really digging back into that.
They just released a DLC pack too. So do you
That's kind of what got me.
Okay.
Because I saw that about. So that's about like Chinese history, like
Right.
mythology. This is all about the Greek mythology, which like everyone knows and like at least knows the characters and stuff. And I hear the Chinese mythology is actually amazing. Like I hear it's excellent. So I really want to get through this. Hopefully within that time period, the season pass will go on sale somewhere, and I can get that and then
Right.
check that out.
Cool. Awesome. That's all you've been playing though?
Yeah, that's it.
The old game and funk. I know it well. Art,
Yo,
what you playing?
some mediocre and not so great games.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
How'd this happen?
Uh,
Did you have bad taste?
kinda.
I've also been playing bad and mediocre games, so I have no room to talk.
So, I think I mentioned a while back I was playing Madden on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Playing the game is fine. However, quick resume on that game is a problem. Like every second time I start it up, the game just crashes.
Are you playing? Are you doing an online franchise?
No.
Then I don't know how to help you.
No, I was having the same problems back when I was playing Madden.
Like
same problems.
It's like clockwork. Like
Yep.
I can start it up fresh one day, play it, put the console asleep, shoot up the next time, play it. The third time I go, I'll go to do something, and it just loads to a black screen, and then crashes me back to the dashboard.
Ugh. No bueno.
Also, that game is still super EA Madden gonna cheat you out of victories.
Oh yeah. No fucking way games.
Yeah. Other mediocre game I played, Lego Batman 3.
Oh yeah.
I bought a bunch of Lego games for my son to start playing. You know, when he got into games, and he has the Switch now, and he's played the Lego Harry Potter game like all the way through like 2 or 3 times by now, and he started playing the Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 on there. And the one day he came to me, he's like, asked me to play like actual Legos with him. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. There's no playing. It's like you do what he tells you to do.
Yeah, right.
He's a kid. B, he's an only child. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, wait, you know how to play video games now. Come downstairs. Let's play one of these. It's a Lego game. It's if you've played one of the Lego games, I think you kind of get the gist of how all of them go. There's some jokes in there. There's it's basically platforming and problem solving.
I want to say that one was one of the last ones of like that style of Lego, because you know how like they did change they finally changed the gameplay formula at one point, but I want to say that one was like one of the last ones that still had the old formula, so that that's why it felt so stale, because like it was like, okay, it's the same thing as anything else.
Yeah, I mean it's a fine game. I'm not gonna run out and buy all the Lego games and.
God, he's unplugging things. All right, no, go ahead.
I'm not going to.
I'm just terrified.
Go out
What's
and
gonna
buy all
happen?
the Lego games and start playing them. I'm not going to sit there and play by myself. It's something to do with the kid. If you like Lego games, it's fine.
The only one I was like, man, that's actually like different and really I like it was a Lego City Undercover.
Yeah,
that one's very good, and it has a lot of like references that you would get that he would not get, and I think you would like just to see Columbo march through for no reason. So it's just like stuff like that.
Yeah,
because that one's more like GTA too.
Yeah,
like
GTA
it's
Lego.
like open
Totally,
world.
it's GTA
Yeah,
Lego.
absolutely.
and then the not good game I played, Retro Mania Wrestling.
Oh no!
No, don't tell me that.
Yeah. No. So this is a game that was put out. It's supposed to be the sequel to the old WWF WrestleFest arcade game. Really, the only thing that they carried over was kind of the graphic style. The combat is like they kind of tried going like the Fire Pro Wrestling route, where it's all timing based, which is not great. But the kicker too is like the animation's way too fast for me to consider it in the same realm as WrestleFest, which was kind of, it wasn't a very fast game. It was an arcade game. You kind of slow plotting guys and you grappled and punched and whatever. So the animations are way too fast. The game is hard even when you get the grappling timing down. Like I was winning the grappling timing, and 4 out of every 5 attacks I would do of a light attack would get reversed in my second match in the story mode.
That's not good.
So I'm not sure if there's a difficulty option on there for me to toggle on or off, but I was playing this at like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm like, yeah, I've had enough of this. I'm going to bed.
What are you playing on?
Xbox.
I didn't even know. I had no idea it came out.
Yeah.
Well,
No
it
idea
was
it came
weird.
out.
So it came out on PC, and then it was like and they're like, stay tuned. Like, so I
like
think they're working through some like certification stuff.
Yes.
So it finally came out on Xbox. It just
I
came
think
out
today
on
it came
the
out on
today.
Switch.
Like, they were the day we were recording.
March 30th.
Way
It's-
behind.
but it's still not even on PlayStation. They're still
Well,
working on the PlayStation.
yeah,
I think they're hoping by next week it's
I
on
think PlayStation
right?
they were working through some kind of glitch or something.
Yeah, so I think they're hoping by next week it's gonna be on PlayStation. So like it's been a weird staggered release, which I've never heard before. Like the way they're doing this is kind of weird.
I didn't even know it came out, and
yeah.
I followed them on Twitter and everything.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't even know it came
Well,
out.
they've been weird. Like the way their tweets have not been like very not like, hey, here, go get it. Like it's
Right.
been very weird. The
Like,
way
are you
they've
gonna
been
make
tweeting.
a new graphic for every single console you release it on, as opposed to like it's out on everything on this day?
Right.
Well, and like the only reason I even went and looked is I think like they were doing a giveaway or something that you retweeted, and I'm like, oh shit.
I've done that a couple times. I'm like, I don't know if I want to pay for this yet.
I'm like, when's that coming out? And I went and looked, and it was like, oh, it's out on Xbox. I'm like, oh, okay, give it a shot. It's not cheap. It's $30.
Yeah, that's another reason why I was like, well, I'll keep retweeting these contests.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like it underdelivers on what they were advertising themselves to be.
That's disappointing.
That's one of those things where like when you watch the videos and you see the screenshots, it looks just like WrestleFest.
Right.
Yeah.
Until you, I guess until you get your hands on it, and it doesn't feel like
Yeah,
it.
the art style they nailed. Everything else, not even close. And I mean, like, if I wanted to play the style of Fire Pro Wrestling, I'd go play Fire Pro Wrestling, which is a much deeper wrestling game, much more customizable, probably objectively better game.
Right.
Yeah.
And this I kind of bought in the nostalgia of WrestleFest, which is one of the first 3 things I go to when I go to the Galvin Ghost. So, yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, it is new. It is a small studio. Maybe something will change. I don't know. I'm gonna give it another shot at some point. Cause like I said, I played for maybe an hour or two, and it was like 2 a.m. I'm like, I'm going to bed. Yeah, that's all I've been playing.
All right. I've been playing 3 things. So I talked about last time Mortal Shell. And again, let me just tell you how lovely it is just to have the Series X version just immediately, because that was very, very nice. Unfortunately, some of those textures aren't quite 4K or even close when you get real close up to it. You can definitely tell us.
We have 4K-ish textures.
Yeah, it's 4K until you get real close, and then not so much. But there's some parts of the game that do look really, really nice. But it's like I don't know if it's like a weird pop out, because like I feel like I got like too far into it. I wasn't supposed to see that wall that close type of thing. I don't know. Man, it's gonna be hard to kind of encapsulate how that game journey went for me, because it was a journey. So let me just kind of explain how like the basic format of like how you're supposed to continue like the story goes. So you have like the main hub world, and I said last time everything's kind of feels same-ish, and that's where everything feels same-ish. But when you get beyond those areas, there's 3 different locations. Basically, ostensibly there's 3 dungeons in the game. So getting to the entrance of the dungeon is arduous enough, because again, it's a Souls-like game. It's like you almost gotta have like a perfect run to get there to even have any kind of chance to get through the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to the dungeon. The very first thing you do, you walk in through the door, and there's a save spot there. Cool place where you can upgrade your character. There's usually a crafting table there to upgrade your weapons, and then there is a statue holding a weapon that you don't have yet. So there's a boss right at the beginning of the dungeon. If you beat that boss, you get that weapon, and you can add it to your arsenal of weapons. That was like the first time, took a couple times, but like whatever. You go through it. Then you're going through the dungeon, and each dungeon has their own unique enemies in it. So every time you come across it, like, what the hell are you going to do to me? Like, I don't know what's going to happen to me here right now. I know it's going to be bad, because everything is bad in this game, and you're going to hurt me, and it's going to be bad. So you figure out all those things, and you kind of slowly progress through it. There's usually a save point halfway through, then there's another save point right before like the end boss, more or less. But as you're going through, like, you're just constantly dying and going back to that save spot, constantly dying and go back to that save spot. The good part about this one, as opposed to I think it was in Sekiro, like, that doesn't like save your anything. Like, you die and you get like nothing when you return. At least if all the items I collected, that stays with me. I lose my like progress points, that tar that you're trying to collect to upgrade your guy, but whatever. So, and then you have final boss. And the final boss is a massive pain in the ass, of course. And he's always, but there's a save point right before it, so it's not that big of a deal. You find him a few times, you figure out the rhythm, and you get him. It turns out I did them like in the wrong order, like the dungeons in the wrong order. Like I did like the hardest one second, and I did the easiest one last. So I was just like, and like I was like, man, I'm really mowing through this dungeon. This is pretty easy.
Yeah.
This boss is nothing. And it was just, but after you finish, okay, so now you've gone all the way through the dungeon, you've finished the final boss. You're collecting glands from these individual bosses, and you bring them back to the main hub world. Once you have the gland, all enemies respawn. More enemies respawn in the areas. Harder enemies respawn in areas, and you need to get back through the dungeon, back through the hub world, and go back to the middle of the map to deposit the gland. So it's just like it never ends. It's just brutal the entire time.
That's crazy.
I unlocked one like I said, you have 4 different shells you can inhabit, and they all have different attributes. The basic main attributes are health. I feel it's not focus, but like the special attack meter, and then stamina. And stamina is how you can roll and run and things like that. So I unlocked a character who has like a lot of stamina, and he had a perk that allows me to run with no hit to my stamina. So I just booked it. And just I didn't fight anything. I was just running and rolling and running and rolling and running and rolling. And I thought, and you just get back to the main hub and whatever. So I get all 3 glands back. I get to the final boss. The final boss is very, very hard. He just rolled me the first 4 times I fought. I was like, all right, let me go back. Let me just stock up here. Let me finish all the upgrades on my main guy I've been in the whole time. Let me go get a bunch of health mushrooms. Mushrooms heal you. And just like all these other little perks I can find, all these little power-ups I can find and get in there. And the guy just wipes me out again. This is after 4 hours of going through this thing. So 4 hours of fighting this guy, getting rolled, finding all of these, boosting my inventory, doing all these things. And I was just like, this is it. This game's going to beat me. I'm not going to get to the final. I'm not going to get to the end. I'm just not going to get to the end. Then one morning, I was like, I'm going to try it one more time. First time, roll the final boss.
That sounds about right.
That's
Yep.
Like they have
classic video games.
I don't even finish. I don't even get into my second health bar. Like I have
classic video
oodles of health and oodles of everything else.
That is so aggravating.
Oh my god, it's just like
I wasted 6 hours on this yesterday.
It's nuts, and it's like in the middle of the boss fight. There's a point where I didn't know. It was the first I ever gotten into this boss fight, and there's an insta kill piece that can happen, and it happened to me. And I didn't know that was going to happen. And that's when I was like, I gotta put this down. I gotta walk away. I'm never gonna do this ever again. And I know that was, and I got past it, and it was just fist pumping. Fuck yes moment. I was just I was losing my mind. They give you an option to be like, all right, do you want to ascend, which is New Game Plus, or do you want to just go back to the main world and collect more stuff? I was like, I want to ascend, which got me the credits, and I uninstalled it. I'm never playing that game again. So I finished it. It's good. It's done. It was like that immensely frustrating followed by immense joy loop that those games all have.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Right.
It's
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I really did enjoy it though. Outside of all everything I'm just kind of talking about.
Outside of all the hatred.
Outside of just the rage. Once I got past it and understood the rhythm of the fighting and everything. I really did enjoy it. But after that, I was just like, all right, I gotta play something completely different. I'm gonna lose my mind. Going through my wall of games and I have nothing to play per usual. And I came across Resident Evil Revelations. I don't know when I purchased it. I'm sure I got it really cheap and just I'll get this. So I played all the way through that. I did play it on easy though, just because I didn't really care. I had enough challenge for this time period. I didn't need any more challenge in my life.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
That game's barely a Resident Evil game. There's no zombies. There's no inventory management. There's no typewriters. There's no save rooms. There's no zombies. It's very, very different. It's very action oriented. You're on this ship. You're fighting new kinds of weird BOWs, the biological something weapons. I forget what it is. And it's a weird, convoluted, government scandal, backstabbing each other organization. I don't know. It was all kind of nonsense. It was fine. Again, I played it on easy, so there wasn't much pushback. If the game pushed me back at all, I was going to quit immediately.
The console version of that's fine. Because that game really shined on the 3DS.
That's where
3D was amazing on it, and for a 3D handheld game, it looked incredible. It was one of the few games that supported the extra adapter where you put your DS into, so you had the back buttons, so like
right.
You had the R2, R1, R2 buttons and stuff. So on the 3DS, it was like super impressive. On console, it's still a good story.
Yeah,
but the game, it's just pretty basic.
And there's a bunch of really, really dumb stuff in that game. Like the whole thing, like you're on this cruise ship, and they're like, you can't let the cruise ship sink because the virus will go into the ocean. And then as another party is you're Jill and her new partner is on this boat, and then Chris and her new partner are going to the boat to save you as well, and you kind of go back and forth in between their stories in a comedy relief duo that I thought, man, I was like, okay, cool, they died. I hated them so much. And in the chapter where there was an air raid and a bunch of bombs dropped and there's a big flashlight and they're like, oh, and I thought they died. I was like, yes. The guy's code name was Jackass, and he was a fucking jackass. I hated these guys so much, and they unfortunately lived anyway. So Chris is going, there's like, you can't let this boat sink. It's gonna put the virus in the ocean. Blah blah blah. So as Chris is approaching the ship, this giant sea monster, which is one of those monsters, comes up out of nowhere and is attacking this boat. I was like, well, they're already in the ocean, I guess. And no one seems to be acknowledging this at all, that this already has happened. Just dumb stuff like that, like plot holes everywhere. Like you're always in a co-op situation. I don't know if this actually is co-op or you just have like a partner, like character with you or not. But like the partner, the only thing that they're there to do is to scare the shit out of you when the camera whips around and they're in frame all of a sudden, like okay. Damn it, Parker. And then...
Damn it, jackass.
Oh, God. So, yeah. And then, so there's sometimes when like the partner's like, follow me, and you follow them, and they open a door, and then it closes immediately on your face. And you have to like reopen the door. And it's like, the game's like hallways. So it's just like, I'm just constantly opening. It's like, hold the door for me, Chris, you jackass. So there's that.
Jackass?
No, he's not Jackass. He's a jackass, but he's not the jackass. I don't talk in code names. And then last but not least, I don't know what possessed me to play this, but no, actually I know exactly what possessed me to play this. Those Microsoft reward points things I've been chasing forever. I am like 2,000 away from a $100 gift card.
Nice.
I played all the way through Rise Son of Rome.
That game was Xbox One launch title.
Xbox One launch title.
That game was. I enjoyed that game. Like on launch day, I beat it in one day, but it was awesome.
Yeah, honestly, I did too. There's a very strong parallel between that game and the Order 1886, 82, whatever that game is. Thank you. Yeah. 1886. It's just like kind of pretty, kind of just like really cool ideas, but not like all the way there. I mean, it's just they both feel like the first of a series because they both were.
Right.
And they're both prettier than most games on the console of their, wherever they landed on. But just like but no sequels will ever happen of it, just because they weren't successful enough to warrant a sequel either way. But in Rise of Rome, like this, like the first like couple minutes, like man, this is really awesome. Like the execution kills they have you do, and the way they do it, where it's the person you're fighting would like you would press the right trigger to initiate the execution. And it's like almost like kind of like a quick time event, but the way they do it is like the person you're executing would be have like an aura outline of like what color you're supposed to press. So like yellow would be Y, X would be blue, and you just press the right one in the right order, and you execute them in fantastic fashion.
Right.
And you use points that you get along the way of playing, like XP points, to unlock more execution. So by the end of the game, I'm just like, there's all kinds of executions happening. Like I'm doing all kinds of madness.
Right.
If you play the game now, by the way, the gold that you can get, which used to be like separate downloadable currency that you can buy for the game, is all free now.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, well, okay, I'll buy 100,000 gold for no reason, and that would have bought everything 5 times over. Like I overbought on gold, but it was free. Free gold. How can you turn it down?
Nice.
Stuff your pockets.
That's right.
Yeah, but I played all the way through it. It was fun. I mean, again, I played that one on casual, on easy, I think, or wherever they recruit or whatever the hell they call it is.
That was years ago.
But I was surprised how much I really did enjoy just like the story and going through, and they got some kind of like really crazy big set pieces, like obviously you're playing in Rome, so they got like the big pieces like the Colosseum and things like that. So it's really, really neat how they kind of tie that all together. But you definitely fought the same 6 enemies the entire game. They put a different hat, like a different helmet on them, but it's the same 6 enemies throughout the entirety.
I mean, it's pretty obvious it's a launch title.
100%.
Like, yeah, absolutely. But like, I'm actually kind of surprised Microsoft never like continued. like that series because like it was a pretty solid game.
Yeah, and like
it's not bad.
No, not at all. And it's like again, it's like you can beat it in like 5-6 hours. So like that just needs like that sequel love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just needs like that little more fine tuning, a few more. Variety in terms of the enemies, a little more variety. I think you probably use a little more variety in fighting too, not just the executions, but just like there's like 3 sword strikes and 2 shield blocks, and things like that. So like they need like if they got like a kick-ass like fighting system in there as well.
Yeah, agreed.
But I said I also liked Order 1886 as well, and I also paid between the 2 games. I paid a grand total of $4, which really helps my opinion on the matter. And I played about half an hour of another Game Pass game called Hyperdot. It's like you're a dot in a circle avoiding things, and it gets hard. But it's but
like Geometry Wars hard.
But they're smaller they're smaller objectives. Whereas like all right, survive for 12 seconds.
Okay.
Collect like tokens will randomly come up. Like collect 6 tokens as these all this madness is happening.
Yeah.
So like there's a little bit different goals at the end of it. But it was totally fun. Like I said,
nice.
I did enjoy it. It's very chill despite it being anarchy. Cool music, like very dull tones in the color scheme and things like that. And it's just. It can be very chill and also like all of a sudden be just like super hectic and then really fun. Also another Game Pass game. So, but that's it. That's all the madness I've been going through for the last 2 weeks. Steak, what's coming out next couple of weeks?
All right, not much.
No, this is why I'm playing Resident Evil Revelations.
Yeah, that's right. This is the calm before the storm because I was looking ahead. And this is definitely the calm before the storm.
Until I think it's delayed again.
No,
well,
stop it.
April 6th, Oddworld Soulstorm for PC, PS4, and PS5. And that is also going to be a PlayStation Plus game for PS5 version.
Correct.
So not the PS4 version. On April 15th, Saga Frontier Remastered for PC, Switch, PS4, iOS, and Android. And also on April 15th, Shadow Man Remastered. The game I wanted Art to play years ago.
What was the problem? Was it a PC thing that
For
you just couldn't
PC.
get to work?
There was.
I want to say there wasn't controller support for it.
Oh, yeah.
That's
And
right.
I'm just
Refuse.
useless with the controller mouse.
So the PC version is April 15th with the console version coming later.
All right.
After that.
So you can try again.
Yeah, we'll see.
So let's see. PlayStation Plus games will get announced tomorrow after we record.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right. Blind predictions. What do you think?
Well, we know Oddworld.
So
So there's gonna be what? Probably 2 more.
I think
would be my guess.
At least
right?
at least 2. I would think 2
lately it's been
PS4
like that.
games.
Like so. Because they've been pretty good lately. Like they've been really stacking up.
Yeah.
God, that's a good question. I'm trying to think
I
because they also have
I'm
that
putting
play
myself on the spot
because they also have that play at home going on, which is like
Yeah?
which is eliminating some of the games I would think would have some potential
Right.
there. So that wouldn't have that.
They had a ton. Half of like VR games too. So
Well, I was gonna say they could just keep pumping out VR games.
yeah, they can.
I don't know. It's a good question.
I don't know. I'd put everyone on the spot. I don't have an answer myself. Never mind.
So I have no idea.
But the Xbox games with gold have been announced.
Here we go.
With a couple of them already available.
Buckle up.
This one's already available. Vikings, Wolves of Midgard from April 1st through the 30th. Truck Racing Championship from April 16th through May 15th.
Yeah.
They get retails for $59.99.
What?
And everyone says it's just awful. Like, I was reading, like...
You said awe, and I was like, don't tell me this is
No.
awesome.
Awful.
They go one of 2 ways.
Yeah.
It's big with the farming simulator crowd.
Just terrible. Did you see the lawnmower simulator game coming up?
It's very pretty.
It is very pretty.
But yeah,
I have one of those. It's called Cut My Grass.
And then available for Xbox 360, which is also playable on your Xbox One and Series X and whatnot. Dark Void from April 1st through the 15th, which I remember hearing good things about. That's that Capcom game that's kind of like the Rocketeer.
Yeah,
cover.
right. I can see it in my mind.
Yeah,
I
you
never-
got
I-
like that shiny helmet like thing. So that's available now. Actually, right now, I just downloaded it before we started recording. I love how like a couple days early, those like they seem like to always go up. And Hard Corpse Uprising from April 16th through the 30th, which I hear is excellent, actually. And those, don't forget, 360 games are permanent additions to your library, regardless if you let go of gold and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Game Pass, nothing. Well, we had a ton.
I was saying,
so,
we've had a lot recently. So.
And at that idea at Xbox show last Friday.
Okay.
So like,
so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a minute. So I started watching it. So I was like, okay, let's see what we got going on here. They kick things off with that Exo Machia, like that dinosaur robot. Looks amazing.
Which still is not a game. Like, I don't know what it is.
I don't know. It looks awesome. Then they showed something else that The Ascent, which that looks really good. That was the first time we saw that since the first like Xbox Series X game reveal. That looks great. And then they were talking for like 20 minutes about stuff, about the games and other stuff, like random people on Twitch. I was like, okay. Then they showed one more trailer. Then more random people started talking, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. And I guess that one, I didn't know, that went on for 4 hours. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, probably to have the videos first and then like developer commentary afterwards. Like, I know, but it's interesting. I turned it on at the perfect time because I remember it was on. I was like, oh, I probably missed it. Nope, still going on. Cool. And so I turned it on, and it's like they just started like the 12 minutes portion of it. I was like, oh, cool, that's what I wanted to see. And like that, but I can kind of see their format being like, okay, this person gets like a half an hour or like 20 minutes of like mind share on this thing. But at the same point too, like you can definitely tell those guys who were doing the interview were definitely fishing for questions near the end of those things too.
Absolutely.
Were these like, I didn't watch this at all. I don't watch most of this stuff. I go read recaps afterwards.
Yeah.
And if something strikes my fancy, I go look up the video then.
Yeah.
But were these developers they were talking to?
Yep.
Or?
Yeah, they were talking to some of the developers. Some of them they were talking to developers. Some of them was just these,
the PR people,
like these two female streamers. I don't know. I can't remember their names, and I actually have never even heard of them before. Honestly, like because I mean I don't know a lot of streamers, but they weren't like. At least for me, like that big.
Yeah, right.
But no. Sometimes, like after like the first couple trailers, it was just them two talking about the trailers, and it's just like one of those things where it's like, it was I don't care. Like, show me more or like, show me all. Like you said, have like the 45 minutes of the trailers, and then afterwards all the commentary. Like, so
blow it out afterwards.
If I want, I can stick around. But like, I'm not gonna stick around for 4 hours. And guess what? I never went back and watched any of the other. So now all those other games missed out on potentially earning my like interest.
Right.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it definitely was something new they were trying that did not work.
No.
I was just say like if they want to do something like that where they want to give like the deep dive on what's going on, like take the format that they did the Kind of Funny did for their showcases. Show the video, knock all your videos out in a half hour or whatever, and go, hey, cool, we got a link to a YouTube video here with a deep dive with whoever from EA or whatever studio. Or that way, people who are interested can go get that further, deeper information, and everyone still gets their airtime, and like nobody's getting bored out of the event and be like, all right, whatever happened in the last half, I didn't miss. You might have some great games there, but I didn't see them because you put me asleep.
Yeah, or like how the indies do it, where it's like, okay, you have the developer introduce the game, talk for like 30 to 45 seconds, and then they show the trailer. That's fine. Like I'm okay with that too, even because it's like it is an indie game, so it's a little more personal and all that. So I do get that. That's fine, but 30 to 45 seconds is fine. Like I can handle that and keep moving on. Like I can't handle you talking about a trailer for 4 to 5 minutes when I don't know who YouTube streamers are, and I don't care. And I just don't care what you think. That's
after the developer talked about it. So they would have like the trailer. The developer would talk for like 15, 20 minutes, and they would cut to the two girls. Again, I didn't know who they were either. I mean, again, I'm so unplugged from the whole community anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but they still weren't even like that big.
And they were kind of just shouting out, that looks great. Oh, this person in the chat said this. It was like the same thing every single time. Like, what are we gaining here? Like, what are we adding? What are we adding here?
If anything, it hurt the indie studios like doing it that way. I think
it was.
Hopefully, this was a learning experience.
Yeah, and like honestly, it was like it was so great. I turned it on. They had a 12 minutes thing. I don't know what order it was, but they had a 12 minutes thing, which I'm super geeked about. And then they had like all the games that were coming to Game Pass. I'm like, I got everything I needed to do. I it was perfect. I tuned in exactly when I was supposed to. But yeah, a ton of games coming day and date with all that stuff too, which was big news.
I think it was like 90% of the what they showed is coming to Game Pass. And that one I saw it later on is like this is from the creators of like Final Fantasy and all that stuff. Like it's like a vanillaware JRPG. Like again, like something like that. Thank God I follow people on Twitter who are into those type of games because then they are the ones that shared it. And then I was like, oh yes, I cannot wait for this now. Otherwise, I never would have saw that.
Yeah. Nuts. Nuts. Is that it? I think. Oh yeah, we had nothing new, right?
That's it.
All right. Extra.
It's time for some news, I
The
guess.
news.
The light news.
The big news.
Okay. Sony has confirmed that they are closing down the PlayStation stores for PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and PlayStation Portable. PS3 and Vita are closing on August 27th. PSP will be closing on July 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
While the stores are closing, any games that you purchase, you will still be able to download.
And apparently, you can still redeem codes too, but you can't like actually do any purchasing.
Okay.
So I don't know if I read that right or not, but
No,
I'm like 99% sure. There's no purchasing whatsoever. You
you're
can't redeem like wallet money, but if you like open a game and there's a code in there and it's still like not expired, you can still do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Like it. Like, why would you buy a digital PS5 now? Like knowing that this could happen. Like.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well,
like that's
you're not losing what you bought.
You're not losing what you bought, but like you also have lost like potential for anything.
Also, well, come on, they've been trying to kill Vita for the last like 3 years.
Since a month after it came out.
Which is crazy because there are so many developers still developing and releasing games on there, and now, I guess there was an article today. A lot of them just found out about this themselves. They had no idea.
Yeah.
So now they're either canceling their game or they're rushing to get it out.
They found out about it when everyone else did.
That's
and they had to contact
awful.
like their rep at Sony and be like, "Is this true?"
Oh, that's awful. That's awful.
That's terrible because like that's the thing is like it's all indie stuff, but like I mean it must sell if people are still doing it. You know what I mean? Like people must still be buying them.
Or is not that difference? Or there's like not that big of a difference between working it on the Switch and working it on the Vita too.
Sure.
Like why not? Like have one more SKU, can't cost that much more money. But yeah, I mean go ahead. I'm sorry.
My other thought on why would you would ever buy digital on PS5 is PS3 was the last hardware they used a wonky, non-standard processor and internal hardware for.
True.
So now everything is on the x86 processors, I believe, so it'll be easier to be backwards compatible going forward. You're not trying to get the square peg in the round hole.
And also, like, the PlayStation 3 was the first online console for them. So, like, getting that all stuff that figured out, I think is very different now as opposed was, like I said, I can download PlayStation 4 games onto my PlayStation 5, no problem.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm of two minds of it. Like obviously I do like thinking of like game preservation, and I do like when all of a sudden I see a tweet from somebody like, oh, we found this old abandoned sewer shark game or some madness, and it's just like something like that. So it's not quite like that, but like I still like the idea of having everything available forever. I know it's unrealistic, and I know that's just not how the real world works because these things cost money. Like keeping these servers up and running costs money. I'm sure that I don't know. There's some kind of servers things still happening if you can still download all what you purchased. So like there's still some cost there, but it must be different as opposed to like updating, having new stuff, transacting money, doing things like that must be just different.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's kind of a pain in the ass, from an administrative side. You have this indie game that came out 7 years ago, and one person buys a copy in half a year, and then you have to process something for that developer and cut them a check. And if they've left making games, they don't make them for PlayStation anymore. You take those people out of your ecosystem, it narrows down things in the back end administratively.
Yeah, and then if you're not having a store, then you don't have to have a bunch of art and videos and information and things like that. If you just have if you go through your purchase history right now on the PlayStation 3, because I did that recently. I mean, it's just like your list of all the stuff you've ever downloaded, whether it be demos or skins or whatever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's no way to sort it.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's awful.
Spew of everything.
Remember when
but
demos
it's just
used to be a
that
thing?
Oh my! Well, you remember back in the day when you got the digital games, like you had to download the demo and like an unlock code to actually play the whole thing.
Yeah.
So as opposed to downloading like the full game, you download the demo, but have the full game. It was very wonky.
Right.
But like. No, I can still play PlayStation 1 games on my PlayStation 3 if I wanted to. I can still play. I think could you play PSP games on there?
Yep.
PSP games on there. Vita games you could download, but you couldn't actually play. Like you can download to your system and transfer them.
Right.
If you wanted to, but you couldn't actually play it. But like, yeah, nonsense. But yeah, I mean that was like the kind of the unique piece of all that. I think that's why it's all those things work together. Like obviously that's like a chunk of their servers that they're just like cutting off or putting on into something else. But I also do understand, like, I don't know. I understand the situation. I just don't like it. From
Yeah, I was I mean, that's I mean, and also too. I mean, the Vita was so much later than both of those too. So they get to shut down the Vita store. Too. Like like you said, like I know
They've been trying to kill that thing since launch.
Well, yeah, exactly. No, 100%. Sony wants nothing to do with the Vita anymore because they know people love it and that they abandoned it. Like that's the thing. And like so like, but that still kills me. It's like, and then when I found out about these developers, like it's like. That's terrible.
Yeah,
you
that's some shit.
Like, so they've been spending money and resources and time, and now it's gone to shit basically for most of them. Like that sucks.
Yeah, you could have people there who have had a game in development for a year or years,
and you can't get Vita carts anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's right.
And now you're telling them like, hey, you guys got like 6 months to get this out. Oof.
Yeah, you can't just switch it in. Yep. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, if you could just, if they could just switch it over to physical, then like that, then like so be it. Like then like that's not maybe ideal for them, but like if that still gets their game out, so they don't feel like they're wasting their time, then fine. But like, to get your hands on those carts I think are near to impossible now. I think they finally, even Japan, I think they finally stopped developing them. So I know. Colin just released that. His studios,
Twin Breakers,
Twin Breakers,
Habroxia 2.
That one for Vita, but I think that might be one of the last physical for him, even like for their studios, because I think they can't get the carts anymore. Yeah, I think the carts are officially done even from Japan.
Well, I was listening to one of his podcasts on the way over here. And I guess like they had another game in development. It was planned for Vita. They just ordered a Vita dev kit for more people to be able to test it at their studio.
Yep.
And the way they found out about this was some website that isn't that big first reported it, and then it got confirmed.
The Gamer, and it was rumored for like a week, and then Sony finally like a couple within the last like 48 hours.
They just finally sent out the emails and updated on their website and everything. Yeah, it's
no bueno.
I say if you needed to do it, you need to do it, but at the same time, you're handling it very poorly. At the same, I think.
Right. Oh man, like I said, I need to talk about the future piece of this thing. Like, I just really hope that like lessons have been learned and. Going forward, we shouldn't have issues like this.
I hope so. It makes me. This is why I personally don't like a digital future. Like when it comes to this, kind
I know
of
it's a little scary. But like Xbox is the same thing, but they have like they've carried their thing along. Like they carry the similar infrastructure along the way. Like I was talking about the PlayStation 3 just being just like. A mad scientist fever dream of a system put together.
Absolutely.
And then, but I can play Xbox One game, the original Xbox games on my Xbox Series X right now if I wanted to. Right. Like it's and all because it was designed that way, and then they finally figured out how to do it, and they made it available to the public, which is great. I mean, that's not every 360 game is available, not every original Xbox game is available, but I would like to have a lot of them. I would like to have an idea or a chance to have a lot of them. And a lot of people are pointing to PlayStation Now as the answer. And we've all tried that.
Yeah.
I have awesome internet. All right, everyone.
Same here.
Let me describe to you how awesome my internet is. All right. It is awesome.
Yeah.
And I still had below like average results on that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm choking.
You see they're doing the $1 for the first month thing now.
Oh, yeah. All of a sudden.
Let me know when I can download all the games and play them.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate. Very, very.
If you're going to do that, you might as well announce that PS3 games are backwards compatible because that's a big part of your PS Now library.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah. That'd be a great day.
That would be an incredible day.
Dude, my PlayStation 3, I'll say this. Ever since I'm not like rebuilding my PlayStation 3 catalog. I'm getting new stuff I've never had before. Like, I bought like the Simpsons game. Right. I bought like, it was like weird stuff I didn't have before. I'm all of a sudden playing PlayStation 3 games again. Anyway.
Are you talking about the Simpsons movie game?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It's very good.
Oh, it was so good.
My catalog's so weird. It's
I played it. I finished it in like 2 days. I played it nonstop. Like it was so good.
I got an itch because I was playing a PSP emulator. I didn't say that. And I was playing the Simpsons game and it was awful because there's only one stick.
Yeah, it's not great on there.
So I was like, I'll just get the new one. So like my PlayStation 3 library is like this is like the Simpsons game, a weird, really early Sherlock Holmes game because I do like those games.
Yeah.
NCAA football 13, which I think is one before it. NFL head coach 09. Resistance 3 because I never played that one.
Oh, 3 was so good. And
that might be it. I got a couple of games like Lego games and like a Harry Potter game, but like those are the ones that are mine. It's so stupid. What else you got?
The only other thing here I have is Sony revealed what will be the next PSVR controllers.
They look nice.
They're kind of like orbs that go around. There's a handle in the middle. They go around your hand.
It looks like the Oculus controller, and they took like the middle ring and just like pulled it down.
Yeah,
like pulled it
pretty
back.
much.
Which looks really cool.
It's certainly better than the 10-year-old PlayStation Move controller.
The clown nose.
Yeah.
See, and that's what makes me really excited now for this. It's like, okay, your guys are advancing. You're going to have the touch controllers. You're going to have the haptic feedback.
You guys are taking this seriously. Great.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, like the VRs we have now was kind of was the test run. Like basically, like, all right, let's see what people think. Let's see what goes on. We're going to use old. We are going to use old. We're going to mix old with new tech and all this other stuff. But like, oh my, like, wow, like this is like, okay, it sold better than we expected. So now we really do have to take this serious.
And I don't remember what Sony exec said this, but they said like, this is like launching on PlayStation 1. Like, so they're the PSVR, the original PSVR was like launched. It's like a new platform for them. So they are trying some stuff out, whatever. But yeah, and like it very much so seems from people who know how VR like works and manipulates that the controllers themselves suggest that they're going to have like the onboard cameras like on this unit itself, so it's not going to need a secondary camera. So the HD camera that came for the PlayStation 5 seems to be a streaming device.
Yep.
Which is really cool.
Great. That's fantastic.
Apparently, I said supposed to have one cord, which is very nice. Apparently, there's ways to still use that camera system and the old PlayStation Move controllers for like backward compatibility games. For backward compatibility games.
I heard you.
But and then I saw
Take
something.
those things and chuck them into a lake.
They're not great. But then I forget the name of the game that is being developed for PSVR. They're talking about optimizing it for PlayStation 5 and PSVR 2, which will also suggest that you can play your old games on the new headset, which is a big sticking point for me because there's a lot of VR games I haven't played yet.
Same here.
That I have just because my space was taken over by my work at home. And if it is one of those things where it's like backwards compatible out of the box, like that's going to be a huge selling point for me. And there's like I think there's I knew the number. There's like the millions of people who bought the headset. Like it's got to be a big deal. It's got to be a big deal.
It was a lot higher than they like I said they anticipated. But yeah, no, I can totally see them like making like an update for like Blood and Truth. Ooh. Like I could see them like update because I mean they already updated it. They actually updated it for the PS5,
right.
Which is amazing. Which I still have to test. Which maybe I'll do that this weekend because I'll be busting out some Doom 3 VR this weekend. So with the aim controller.
Watch out.
But I think it would be nice to see something like that like get updated for. And I think it probably will be game by game
right.
If they update for the new controllers and stuff like that. So anything that was like Sony first party kind of thing. So like I would basically like Blood and Truth, Astrobot. I think would be almost a guarantee we'll get an update for the new VR. Probably a couple. I mean, Iron Man. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Iron Man definitely. Oh, that actually might improve the game quite a bit. God, that's still one game that still disappoints me. Like I want it to be.
You want it to be good.
I want it to be good, but it's like because the demo was so much fun, and then you got into the game. It was just I felt like the controls worked better in the demo, like which was weird.
Yeah. That was a good man. I got that. I saw it last time. I bought super cheap. Came up across the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners thing.
Oh yeah,
which I still haven't tried that. I mean, I did like to make my space like VR ready. There's so much. I mean, not only have the VR wiring to worry about, but I have all my work wiring to worry about. Like, there's so much needs to happen to be worth my while. It needs to be like, all right, for the next 3 days, I'm doing VR. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, exactly.
So like, I need to find 3 days to do that. But yeah, and honestly, the very first thing I thought of when I saw those new controllers were like, okay, they have to launch with Half-Life Alyx, right? They have to, because it's like the same premise. Like all the controls should be there to make that work.
Well, it depends what Jim Ryan does for Gabe.
What if you Gabe?
Because Gabe hates them, so we'll see.
Gabe, it's a new day. All right.
I hope so because like that is like, and that's what everyone's been saying. Like since they revealed the controllers, everyone's saying Sony needs to do whatever they have to do to get Alyx. They get Alyx. It is going to skyrocket the sales and everything.
Because the amount of like, again, it wouldn't be like the biggest version. It wouldn't be the biggest version of that game because obviously like the PC version of it would be the best.
Well, right, of course, like, it always will be.
Right, of course. I mean, that's not a big deal. Yes, how can I help you?
Sorry.
Your wife's drunk.
Yeah.
It's
all right.
it's Tuesday.
Yeah, it's all right.
Anyway. Oh, she's toasted too.
It's
Anywho,
we're still in the COVID era. It doesn't matter what day you drink anymore. Right?
that's true. What is a Tuesday?
Yeah.
There's a guy I work with. He said we have 5 Mondays.
Anyway, so yeah, that wouldn't be like, it's not gonna be the best version of the game. That's fine, but like as long as like the functionality is all there.
yeah.
I mean, again, the PSVR isn't the best version of any VR game that you see. Like, it's not the best version of Beat Saber. It's not the best version of Moss. It's not the best version of anything. But it works and it's fun and it's easy. And I plug it in and it works.
Right.
I don't have to worry about installs and tracking and all that other crap you gotta do with PC and stuff to make it work. And spend, I don't know, $1,500 extra on a PC to make it work.
Except for that Quest.
Except for the Quest. Except for that Quest.
The Quest does improve all that, especially the Quest 2.
Oh, for sure. What else you got? Is that it? I see. You just got to work through it. I have a house full of people, so I can do this all day long. Like, this doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah,
This is how I work, Art.
I
It's
gotta-
like this
I gotta-
nonsense happening in this background. I have this nonsense happening all day, every day, and I just go to work. I call customers, and it's like nothing ever happens.
You talk to customers?
All day, every day.
I got out of that business.
No, it's not the best. It's not the best part of my business, but it's a part of the business. Anywho, so first party studios. So last time we talked about what we think. We were just talking about just first party studios in general because this was right after the Bethesda acquisition, and obviously that changes the landscape drastically for Xbox first party development.
Yeah, they have games worth playing now.
So I have a list of all the first party studios from both Sony and from Microsoft. I did exclude, like, I didn't do the XDev stuff from Sony. Like, I didn't put, so that means like no Kojima Productions and things like that because they're not owned. So if you were owned by the first party, I put you on here. I also didn't include like the new mobile studios that were part of ZeniMax that are now part of underneath the Microsoft umbrella from buying it.
Right.
We don't care about that.
Yeah.
Mobile
games aren't real games.
I didn't include that.
I did.
So-
In my list, I did include Blue Point with PlayStation.
That's
because
fine.
It's
I'll
not.
allow
Let's be honest. It's just a matter of time.
Right,
it's
right,
gonna
right.
happen.
Hopefully. I mean, shit, this has been amazing.
Well, I was gonna say it should happen. Let's put it that way.
So you might have a few different ones than I got because honestly,
We'll
like,
see. Yeah, this was just honestly. I did a Google search of and whatever popped up. That's what I wrote down. So we'll see.
and when I was going through, like I had trouble finding out, like, because some of these studios have more than one like team on them.
Yeah.
So like it required a little more work than I thought it was going to be, as opposed to just like looking through a
I didn't
list.
go that deep on it.
I didn't. I'm sure I'm going to miss something along the way, but all right, let's jump this off here.
Not gonna lie, I didn't make a list. Thought we were just gonna talk through this.
No, you're fine.
Well, you know,
Hey, I appreciate Stake's dedication.
most of mine is like what they're already working on, and then I just been kind of just
There's
mauling. in my
honestly,
head
like,
of
I thought there was going to be
Honestly,
more.
like,
a lot of these.
I feel like
we actually kind of do.
Right, I would say
know
I feel like a lot of
about.
them we have
There's a
shown
few-
or said what they were working
There's
on.
quite a few actually still though, that we don't know anything though, so that's gonna be the interesting ones.
All right.
Like this one here.
Number one, we're going in alphabetical order. Sony is first because S is before X. You get it? No. All right. All right. So the first Sony studio is Bend Studio. The most recent game they released was Days Gone. They're still releasing updates for it. I mean, they just had like the big PS5 update for frame rate and resolution, the whole deal. They have not announced anything else for it. I don't know. So are we thinking like Days Gone?
Did Days
2?
Gone sell well enough to justify a sequel?
When it dropped to $20, it sold way better. It sold quite a bit when it dropped to 20.
This one had one. This is like the slowest burn I've seen in a long time.
Yes.
In terms of it's like there's like I don't want to say we're falling short of a groundswell of like support for this for the game, but like people's opinions on it have gotten significantly better as the price has gone down.
Yes.
There's almost like there's a very easy like arc to find on this.
But they've also continued supporting the game too.
Correct, which is the big,
And kept
which is the
making
big
it
deal.
better and
Right.
improving the technical issues. A lot of technical issues it
Right.
had at launch, and it actually looks better.
It looks great.
than it did at launch. I don't know if they're gonna do a Days Gone 2 though. I don't know if it's enough to like justify, but it could be like one of those games. Like look at Knack got a sequel.
You
Like
never
you know
know.
what I mean. So like it's always possible to get a second one there. When I was looking up their previous stuff, because I was trying to remember what everything they've done
Yeah.
before. It's been a long time between. I didn't realize it was
Yes.
that long between games,
Yes,
which is
sir.
insane. why not a Siphon Filter reboot?
Dude, I'm trying. My main thing was looking through is like, who was making Siphon Filter? Honestly, because they did the PSP games back in the day. Those were both great.
All the PS2 ones.
All the PS2, yes.
Yep.
Those were not as great, but they were still fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could definitely do it justice. I think they have. This is like obviously Days Gone was their biggest game, like in terms of just like scope and size and everything else. So it makes sense for them to do that. I think Sony would like them to do something more more proven than like a big new like IP like Days Gone was.
Yes.
Well, I feel like so they just did Days Gone, which was obviously huge in scope.
Yeah.
So like, I think you guys are on the right path. They either have to do something with Siphon Filter, which people know, or do a sequel of Days Gone. They're not going to send the same team back to the drawing board with another new IP
100%.
to spend another 10 years on, or however long it was.
And I think it would. I think it would make a lot more sense to go back to something like Siphon Filter, only because like that is like you could have it like more structured,
right?
Like Hitman, like a more structured like Hitman kind of thing, like where it's like level based, basically. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where I think that was the problem with Days Gone is like they wanted to create this open world. But it was so empty. Like when you got to good stuff, like areas, it was some good stuff, but in between there was quite empty. Like, so it's like, okay, if they could just focus on level based, like they could probably make something like a new Siphon Filter. I think would sell very well.
Yeah, I think it still has enough cachet to like bring people in.
Yeah,
and if they made something like, again, there's a kind of a big gaming hole where Metal Gear Solid used to be, and that was always the comparison, right? It was Siphon Filter and Metal Gear Solid. Kind of, they both did that like stealthy espionage, gadgetry. No Splinter Cell either. Yeah, good point. So like,
you don't need Splinter Cell. You got Sam Fisher and Rainbow Six. It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway.
They got that mobile game.
Oh God, let's not talk about that mobile game.
Anyway, so like I can see. I'm just trying to think this. If I was running Sony International Studios, where the hell they call it now. Do you want to
isn't it just PlayStation Studios?
I think it's PlayStation Studios.
Everything is under the PlayStation
SIE
Studios now. SIE, yep.
Okay, that if I ran that thing that I don't even know what it is. I mean, they already have like this tech behind Days Gone, right? But I don't know if that's like I don't know what engine they use or anything like that. So like, part of me would just be like, Days Gone 2 makes some sense. Maybe they have like a different character who isn't kind of a annoying prick like that. Maybe where I would go with it. But
I'm picturing in my head like the presentation, the business meeting around that. You guys can do the same thing, maybe improve upon it. Have less annoying pricks in the game that are the protagonists.
Yeah, especially that one big one. There's only one.
What annoying pricks are you talking about? The guy you play as the whole time.
Yeah. The guy with the porno name. That guy. But yeah, I don't know. Like I kind of would like them to do. I would love them to do a Siphon Filter, especially if they're able to like, you bring in the Hitman thing to it too. Is just like they've supported Days Gone for this long. Like if they have a Siphon Filter game that they support like that. Be gangbusters. All right. Next, Guerrilla Games. We know that they're doing Horizon Forbidden West.
Just more Horizon. That's all I need.
But they do have a second team.
No, Horizon 3.
The Horizon DLC.
Just get started now. That's fine.
Oh my God.
There you go. All right,
that's hilarious.
Right, done. So we got 3 teams all working Horizon game. We got a whole PlayStation studio doing that. But but for real, let's say the Horizon Forbidden West, and you do have a second team.
I want it to be, but it's not.
It's not Killzone.
It's not Killzone. I would love Killzone VR for like PS5 launch, like PS5 VR launch would be amazing.
That is a phenomenal idea because I'll tell you something. I cannot even fathom someone standing up, an executive at Sony being like, no, we should enter the first-person shooter game. Because that is just so inundated with, like, you talked about Siege a minute ago. Like, Siege runs that place. Call of Duty runs that place. Battlefield's still trying to run that place.
Unless you can guarantee that you're going to have a top-of-the-food chain option there, it's almost not worth getting into.
Who's been the newest entry in the first-person shooter like genre that's had, like, a big impact in, like...
Titanfall, Apex.
It's probably Apex.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, that was like going off of Titanfall, which has been around for a little while. But like, that's not like I mean, Apex is big. Titanfall was never anywhere near that
No,
big.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, Apex is probably a good answer, and that came out like 3 years ago now. But again, that was like.
That's also from a team that has a pedigree in high quality first person shooters.
That's exactly where I was going, and it's also free to play. So like I don't foresee Sony doing that. But a VR shooter in the Killzone world, I can see them doing that.
The last Killzone game was Mercenaries on Vita, and it was fantastic.
That was a very good game. You are correct.
So I've always enjoyed the Killzone games. I enjoyed playing Killzone 3. I played it in 3D because that was like when Sony was going through their 3D games on the PS3, and I absolutely loved it. I loved it in 3D. It was insane. Yeah, I would kill. I would kill for a Killzone in VR. I think that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
And
I can see.
Plus, like, from Guerrilla Games too, like it would be. It'd be AAA.
Oh, that's an interesting thought. I really feel like Guerrilla's trying to be like. They're trying to get to Naughty Dog status. I feel like that.
Yeah, they are.
So like I think the second team will be working on like their, Uncharted Last of Us. I feel like Horizon and something else. So I feel like they might be working on something like completely new. Honestly, is what I put my money on. Insomniac's kind of spoken for. Insomniac they're doing Spider-Man. They released 2 of those games now with the original Spider-Man from 2018 and Miles Morales. For PS4, PS5 launch.
We know 2's
Oh,
in the
they
works.
best be making a 2 because
with
the way the
all
story ended. Oh my god!
From both of them,
right? Exactly. Yeah, for real. They are also releasing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say Rift in Time, but that's different. Rift Apart in June. So I think that's kind of what they're working on. So I don't know.
And they just released a patch for the 2016 one on PS5 for 60 frames on it, which I hear is a game changer for that game.
I imagine it would be. And it's beautiful. So shit. By the time this comes out, I think that the play at home thing is going to be over. So hopefully you got that because it's free right now.
Yeah, until March 31st. So.
It's also part of the PlayStation collection, PlayStation Plus collection.
Yep.
I don't know. Any other Insomniac thoughts? I think obviously that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
All right. So now with like the new Japan studios,
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I think we just call him Asobi at this point, who does Astro's Playroom.
Yeah.
So
PS5 VR.
Yeah.
Astro launch.
Yeah.
That's what they're working on.
Yeah, I would agree.
100%.
It's one of those things like they've done so well with the Astro stuff the last 2 outings that it's like, yeah, give me more of that, but also like. I feel like if you want to branch out and do something else, you've kind of earned that right with the quality they've delivered so far. But I think, yeah, if they have a new VR, headset on the horizon, that it's kind of a no-brainer to get another Astrobot game out there.
And that's why I'm kind of hoping they have a second. I wish they had a second team going. I don't think they do, just because of all the rumors of people leaving and everything that's been going on there, which has been kind of worrisome. Because I mean. These are the guys that I talked about this last time. These are the guys that did Siren. So it'd be cool to have they know they can do horror. Like I mean they're Japan. I mean they're Japanese. Yeah. They could totally do horror. It would be great to have that because like Until Dawn was studio name. Supermassive. Thank you. But that but it's shown now that Supermassive is they weren't clearly they were not interested in going Sony Pacific. Now with all their other stuff that they're doing, so like it would be nice to have that like a first person studio or first studio like that. All these rumors about the Silent Hill remake and stuff. I could if there was anyone I would want to take over, like we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later too, but. They were one of the studios I would totally give that to.
I'd buy that game immediately.
Yeah.
London studio, makers of Blood and Truth, most recently PSVR. That you both you boys like a lot. I have not played it yet.
Oh,
so good.
When you do your 3-day VR extravaganza, fire that up.
Don't worry.
PS5 now. I can't because I need to load that up and see how. I hear it's
God,
quite a bit
on,
of a
man.
difference.
What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for space.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I'll come over. I'll just throw shit out of the way.
Work bought this. Get this out of here.
Did you pay for this? No, work will replace it.
So
Trust me, I work in corporate IT. They'll replace it if they want.
We keep saying this, but how are they not working on Blood and Truth 2 for PS5 VR launch?
Yeah, I
like
agree.
this could be a giant, like PS5 VR could have a giant launch.
Right.
yeah, I mean, bring along the backwards compatibility stuff. But I think they've learned the lessons on that. Just in the PlayStation stuff we talked about earlier. I would think so. I mean, the London studio scene. I don't know if there's still going to be exclusively a VR studio going forward.
Not necessarily, no.
But Blood and Truth seemed to be, went well enough for them. I would imagine that they would want to do something. Maybe not like continue the story because again I don't know how it ends, but like have like a Blood and Truth like similar game with like new characters, new setting type of a thing. They could do that easily.
They could totally pull a James Bond with that game.
Oh yeah,
like that kind of style, like of like okay, here's
I say that game is play an action movie.
Yeah,
that's
what it starts, it concludes, it's over.
They don't need to carry over characters,
but it could totally be like Bond though. We're like, all right, here's a new story with this guy,
right?
Like same guy, but here's a new story. Like they could totally do that.
I mean, this is also the same studio that did the Getaway, but way back in the day.
Yeah.
So like, do you want to do something like that again? I don't know. Hard to say. But
I think everyone's so nervous about getting back into that genre with just how much GTA 5 dominates now, like, and how much it's still dominating. Like, I just
fucking
feel like
Rockstar doesn't want to get back in that genre. Sons of bitches.
Clearly, because I was saying the PS5 version of 5 is not even out yet of GTA 5 because I mean 6 is like at least who knows how many years.
Maybe
away.
by the time I die,
maybe
GTA 6 will come out.
But that's the thing. It's like with the Getaway, it's like that's kind of that style. Like it was a little different, but it's still similar. So it's like. It's again like how we said before, the first person thing. It's like, do you even bother like at this point of trying to revive it? Because the Getaway was it was interesting. Mm-hmm. It wasn't bad, but
other people are doing it better already.
Right.
Now I hear you. All right. Next is Media Molecule. Dreams.
What are they doing?
Dreams. They're doing dreams. They're doing dreams. Dreams.
I haven't heard anything about dreams though. Like
really
at all.
They're updating all the time. Do you have dreams?
No.
Okay.
I never.
Are they doing dreams, or are they just making another engine for other people to make games?
I don't know, but I know that they're very invested in dreams, and they're constantly updating that and doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So I imagine that's what they're doing right now, and maybe something else. I don't know, but
I did see an article the other day saying like Sony is still very invested in them, so that makes me wonder like if they are starting to develop like I don't know with how long dreams took. Like it's just and like don't get me wrong, like when you see it. You get it. You get why it took a while. Like,
yeah.
You get why it took forever. But at the same time, it's like with how long that took, it's like how much you rely on a studio like for something new to come out.
No, right? I hear you.
To get that new money, basically.
No, I totally hear you.
Because with Dreams, like there's no DLC or anything, right? Mm-hmm. Like once you buy it, that's it. Like even with the updates, like you're still getting whatever, right? Yeah. Okay.
Dreams is my pick for PlayStation Plus this month, by the way. You heard it here first. At some point, they got to give away for PlayStation Plus. I think to make it a huge deal.
That'd be great, especially with me hooking up that VR again.
Mm-hmm. It's a VR machine. Anyway, all right. Here's a biggie. Naughty Dog. Last of Us Part 2 came out last year. Uncharted 4 before that. What? So they're at a point right now where both of their, without spoiling anything, they could be done with both of their major franchises if they wanted to be. Naughty Dog likes to be very artistic. In terms of just like, we have a vision and be like, hey, Sony, we're Naughty Dog. We're going to make this. And I think Sony would be like, okay, fine. Because they have not delivered anything, less than a massive hit for them. So I guess the question is, are we talking Last of Us thing? I know they're making that factions thing with the multiplayer deal. That's the next thing they're putting out.
I don't know what the point is.
Another Uncharted spinoff?
Or
something completely new.
I would like them to see them do another Uncharted, and they have a bunch of ways that they can go with it. They can go take the characters from Lost Legacy, spin that off into the main story path.
I would be down with it. But I would like to do that, but then they switch the which girl you're playing. Just give the other person a spotlight. I forget who was who. But,
they could go the route of, if they want to be able to fall back on the classic characters that made the franchise popular, have the daughter be the main protagonist and have
You forget young Sully.
What about young Sully?
You can have your young Sully is a main protagonist, and now you're not only doing Uncharted, but you're doing Uncharted in the 60s. How cool would that be?
Yeah, but then I wouldn't.
That does sound kind of neat. Actually, that would be kind of neat.
But then I wouldn't have old Sully there to.
But he has his own old guy. Everyone has an old guy. He's not
old Sully.
But he's young Sully. Just imagine young Sully.
Or we could take the Yakuza route here and all still Uncharted, all new characters,
do that too.
but it still takes place in the exact same universe. So characters are referenced, characters appear, all that kind of throughout and stuff like that. So they could totally take a Yakuza route here and like a new Uncharted with all new characters, but yet it's still in the same universe, so they get the support from the other characters. They can still have them appear.
All right, I'm down with that.
I can't see them I can't see them being done with Uncharted. It was just so big, and I understand especially someone like Naughty Dog, they can come up with something, and I'm sure they have a new IP that they've been messing around with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for your first appearance on PS5, why not rely on a franchise that you're good, you're ready to go with, and then you got that other IP that you're still working on. So once after that comes out, 2 years later, boom, here's this new now that you remember who we are.
Yeah.
Here's this new IP.
I was say, you mentioned the Yakuza thing, and I actually, now I think back about it, they could just take Uncharted and start fresh with a whole new set of characters, because they ended the last series on such a good ending of the story.
Sure.
And I mean, it's, you don't want to drag that out too long and potentially sully what you've earned there.
I agree.
But I think Uncharted's the way to go. Like I said, they could be working on something brand new that we have no idea about, which, I mean, how the hell are we going to project that? I definitely don't think it's another Last of Us this soon.
I agree with that too.
Agreed. I think it's either Uncharted or something completely new. Yeah, I would have to. I cannot see them be working on Last of Us 3 right now.
No.
Also, too, where it's still at the beginning of a generation, they like to keep Last of Us for the end of a generation. So, that's...
They have to hold that until they know every ounce of performance they can get out of that hardware.
Exactly. Last of Us will always be their showstopper, in terms of visuals. And I don't think, if they are ever going to make a 3, it will be in the final year of the PS5.
I would be totally down with just do like the God of War treatment. Uncharted.
Yeah.
That's a new one coming out. New characters.
Okay. I was saying, you said do the God of
No,
War.
no,
treatment, God of War,
no.
just like Kratos.
No, I mean not do a full on reboot, but just start back with the number one, Uncharted. Uncharted.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So just full on new story, new crew.
That'd be fine. Yeah.
Maybe hit some of the familiar beats, but
I would
experience.
That'd totally be fine too.
I would make it a timepiece too, just so you don't have the expectation of running into the other characters. Because I think you want to have your own thing.
Sure.
Personally, but I don't know. All right. Next, Pixel Opus. They made Concrete Genie. I would imagine them making Concrete Genie too.
I
couldn't even begin to guess.
That's the thing. I have nothing to guess. I have nothing to guess, but I don't think Concrete Genie sold that well, from what I was seeing. I don't know. I mean, it was accepted okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see. I don't know if it would be Concrete Genie 2, because they're a brand new studio. That was their first game, so why not when you're that new, you could get away with doing something completely different. You know what I mean? Because you're still finding your thing.
Yeah, you make a good point too, because the game is kind of artsy, and artsy people usually don't make sequels. They make they want new things. They have a new inspiration all the time. Yeah, no, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
but like you said, it's their first game really was Concrete Genie. So who knows?
So there's an article here from last September saying they're working on something, a new adventure made specifically for PS5.
Okay,
cool.
All right, that works for me.
So,
okay, I got a question for y'all.
Yo,
how do you say this? Is it polyphony?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. That's what I've been saying.
I don't see how it's spelled, but I know that's how you pronounce it.
That is totally. It's not the way it's spelled. That is the better, because I would think it's polyphony.
Polyphony.
Did you just turn your head sideways to see it look different?
Still spelled funny. All right. So
what are they working on?
They're working on Gran Turismo now until the day we die.
I wonder what so the studios that have that that's their thing. I wonder if that's really gratifying, knowing that you're secure in your job and you know what you're doing next, and you just try to make that the best experience possible, or is that just defeating and gets boring after 2 iterations? You're I think it'll get more fucking cars.
But in Gran Turismo is they just come out. They take forever.
Unless you're the location scout or the person who gets to drive all the fancy cars to
right.
There's someone who made Gran Turismo 3 that's now working on that tractor simulator. Those tractors were way too pretty. That's definitely the same artist, no doubt about it.
Gran Turismo 3. That was so good. That was the last one I really, really played.
So yeah, I mean they're making Gran Turismo. San Diego Studios, they're making the show.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to do something else.
I agree.
I want to do another sport.
You can wait until their contract runs out.
Not even that. Like get it. Like you said, get another team in there, and let's pump out an NBA game or something. Ooh. Like I would love to see them. Like they had NBA 09, like the NBA series with Kobe.
What the hell?
And the
Let's get a third PGA game in there. What the hell?
Oh Jesus! Yeah. Is golf really that back? Like that we needed all this, or is it EA being like, oh shit?
Oh, somebody,
Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
We gotta get some of that money back.
Oh, 2K's doing stuff again. We need to.
This is the first time.
Thought we got rid of these guys.
Well, it's just like when Rock Band announced they were coming back. What did Activision do? Oh, so was Guitar Hero.
Yeah. You know what? Big. You know what? Big whoop. So was Guitar Hero. Make a Guitar Hero game quick. All right. Sony Santa Monica, God of War, Ragnarok. We know that. But they make multiple games. But like God of War, Ragnarok is their next thing. We already know that. Sucker Punch last year released Ghost of Tsushima.
Which I still want someone to explain that to me.
Anyway, Tsushima. Anyway, they made that game.
2.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like they have to. Like I don't know what we were talking about earlier. Like they could.
No.
We're talking about Days Gone. Like Ghost of Tsushima was received so well that like you guys kind of go toward. Yeah. Or they're not making the game and they're focusing on the movie or a TV show or whatever.
Right. Well, they are making a movie. Well, that's why we won't see the game for another like 4 or 5 years probably.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be a long time because they are working on all that other stuff.
and they had that new mode that came up later on, that like multiplayer raid mode type of thing that came out. That was
Warriors
that
or
was
whatever.
That was
which I hear is actually
that was big. So like I don't know if they released like a standalone version to that later on and then 2 later on. I don't know. But yeah, I mean overall, I think Ghost of again that feels like the first of a series. I really enjoyed it, but I think I saw everything I needed to see. 15 hours in wherever I was.
Yep.
Just make that either make it more condensed or give me more to do, and I would have loved that game completely. And now there's a new San Diego studio that they're putting together that they haven't talked about at all yet, really, outside of it's a studio they're making.
Yeah. Brand new. It could be something brand new.
That could be the Home of Siphon Filter.
That could This is gonna be the Xbox version of the Initiative. This is gonna be their quadruple A studio.
So what old IP are they gonna bring back that some people don't care about? They're gonna be
Twisted Metal.
Yeah. Oh man, that's perfect. That's a bullseye.
I don't think David Jaffe would allow that.
No, and Twisted Metal again. They're also making a TV show or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. It seems like new studio, new IP makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's out there, and that's been put together for a couple of years, and you still don't have like
No, it's like the Initiative. The Initiative's been around for how many years? And they finally just tease us for
release
30 seconds on Perfect Dark.
Go buy out Konami's IPs.
Oh my god, please.
Yeah.
Oh my god, please. There was a rumor like middle of last year that they're gonna buy up Metal Gear and Silent Hill and make those first party exclusives, and then that never happened.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on to Xbox.
Go on, let's talk about Blue Point.
Oh, Blue Point. I apologize.
Let's talk about Blue Point. Like I said, I know they're not official, but I think they are working on either the Metal Gear Solid or Silent Hill remake. I think the rumors on both of those are too again. This is just I'm getting the same vibe I got from the Demon Souls rumors, and then it ended up being true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just have this. I don't know. I have this gut feeling. I think it's one of those that they are working on.
It's weird to have a niche of making old games. You know what I mean? It's it's
when you do it so well.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
And it feels new. This thing. Look at Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
You put those next to each other, or even Demon Souls. They're night and day difference.
Yeah.
In terms of just the visuals and everything.
And they still nailed the original feel.
Right.
So it's super impressive. Yeah, cool. I play one of those games.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I wonder how that would if that's the case. How does that go within Sony? We're gonna have this company do it. We also work with Kojima. Do we ask him for his blessing? Do we ask him to be a consultant?
It's Konami's blessing because
right.
Konami owns Metal Gear.
You have to get the licensing from Konami, but also there's this other relationship you have to, coddle.
I don't disagree. Especially with their relationship with Kojima, though.
Right.
You're right. With Death Stranding and everything, which I don't know. You see the potential of what might be happening after we record this tomorrow.
Well, they're talking about his new game, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I guess the sound, or like one of the sound producers of the game says, "Stay tuned. A huge announcement is coming," and Phil had the Kojima guy behind him in a previous video not too long ago.
Didn't know this.
So everyone's thinking Death Stranding might be coming to Xbox soon.
Really?
It might be coming to Game Pass.
That would be bonkers.
We'll see.
That
Well, I
would
mean,
be wild.
Sony doesn't own Kojima. So.
No, 100%.
I know.
So yeah, so we'll
Yep,
see.
yep,
I
that's a
mean, it
sweetheart
could
deal.
be interesting.
Man.
And that could make things interesting in terms of Metal Gear. I don't know. Again, rumors. Who knows? We'll see.
On to Xbox.
Yes.
All right. 343, they're making Halo Infinite.
Forever.
They'll come, infinitely. They'll come out one day. Next, Arcane. Dishonored. Got Deathloop coming out in a month, I think, finally. Month or two?
Didn't they say they were taking a big break from Dishonored?
Yeah, I think
I think they are.
I played a little bit of one, but apparently people who played Death of the Outsider, they felt like that was like their like swan song for that series. But who knows? I mean, Deathloop's coming out pretty soon. I know they have 2 studios.
Prey 2.
Probably. There's been a little bit more of this game's really good. You guys should play this game. Like,
Since it came to Game Pass,
Yeah.
like they said that like the amount of like traction that game's getting is insane right now. So potentially I could see Prey 2 coming. Deathloop will come to Xbox Game Pass probably in a year. I'm assuming
A year.
I'm assuming
After
a year,
release,
right? Yeah.
Whenever, as soon as that exclusivity is up in the contract, they'll be on Game Pass.
So will we finally know in that year what the game is?
okay, no. So they finally talked about the multiplayer. Like the day after we recorded last time, by the way.
Death Stranding did well with nobody knowing what the hell it was about.
No,
so.
yeah.
True. Absolutely.
The way Deathloop's multiplayer works is you can launch into someone's game as the girl, I forget her name, but there are areas where she cannot interact with you. So you have until you get into one of those people's layers,
PvE area.
right?
Okay.
And then she can attack you, or she can also help you because she can if she fires a bullet that hits one of the other bad guys, it takes them out too.
Okay.
So it can be one of those weird things you don't know who you're playing with. Might help you out, might not help you out.
Okay.
Also, it can be controlled by a computer character, so you can play single player, and that's just like an AI-controlled second player.
Okay.
I'm really curious about that. Like, can you take over the female, the sniper, and be a total prick and just help the person all the way through the game and get to the last boss and kill him and send them back to the beginning?
Probably. Oh, that'd be. Oh God. Oh, terrible.
Oh, that game just pisses me off.
It's I know. It's just
because I love the grindhouse style.
I know.
I love everything about it except for the actual gameplay.
Except for the prospect that this random person can show up and just ruin the experience for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, God knows what kind of what the AI looks like or plays like. I guess the way there's a radio station in the game. So when she's entered the arena, it'll come to the radio, blah blah blah. It was entered, it's oh, looks like they got spotters, and she is working with those other people, the other people you're supposed to kill. So if you get spotted by one of their henchmen, the henchman can radio to their main radio people and radio to her to so she will know where you're at.
Okay.
Which I think if you're an AI person, they can beeline to you as opposed to a normal regular controlled person. They might have to they may not know where the hell that is.
Okay.
So there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of pluses and minuses both ways on it.
Well, I want to know too. Is there if you play with the computer player as her, can you choose?
I think you can turn it off.
If you're competing against her or if she's helping you, kind of, you know what I mean? I wonder if there's that option as well.
I think you load. I think that person loads in the game, and whatever happens, happens.
That would drive me nuts.
Yeah. Next, Bethesda Game Studios. They made Skyrim and Fallout.
Oh, that's it.
Elder Scrolls, and they're making Starfield, and they're making Elder Scrolls 6, and that's going to occupy them for the next decade.
Yeah, I think they're good.
So next, Compulsion Games. They made We Happy Few, which I did play finally, and it was fine. I hated the accents of everybody, which is really tough. There's a lot of voice acting in that game. And I didn't really know what I was doing, and I didn't care about anything that was happening, so I jumped out.
What, did they all sound like they were from Boston or something?
Oh no, they're all the super Cockney British accent. It is heavy.
It is. Could be worse. It could be Boston or New York.
Oh no, dude, I don't know, man. It's really bad. Anywho,
I don't know what they're working on.
my guess is something new. I don't think we had to view it like it was supposed to.
And because I forgot, because I looked them up before we did this, and I was like, oh, okay, they did Contrast as well.
Yes,
which
correct.
has that kind of similar like visualness to it,
that's
like
true.
that creepy undertone Bioshockness.
Contrast, I played that was a free game early on in the PS4 life cycle.
It was like
that was
I think
like
the first.
That might have
game,
been the
wasn't
first
it?
one
With Resogun.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
that was a fine puzzle
good.
game. It was a fine puzzle
yeah.
game. It looked good. We Happy Few. I feel like that was a classic case of smaller studio makes a trailer that can never they can never really live up to the promise that people saw in that trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean they've kind of hit both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And the two games I know of that they've done. So
We'll see. I'm curious. I don't know. Hopefully we'll find out this year what they're working on.
Next is Double Fine. They're making Psychonauts 2 forever.
That's it. That better fucking come out this
It'll
year.
come out this year. I think
It will. It's been so long, and now they've had Microsoft money for how many years? So they got to get that out.
I agree.
They got to get that out this year.
I mean, everyone talks about these studios getting Microsoft money. Like, you can't get their money and then lose a bunch of money in the big scheme of things. It's not an endless.
Oh,
it's not Scrooge McDuck's vault. You go in there with a shovel and just take a bucket full of money.
Microsoft's spending billions of dollars.
Well,
it's like their
I was
business.
lately it's been like Scrooge McDuck. It feels like we're over.
And at some point,
it's gonna run out.
The rent's due.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, for sure. I understand exactly what you're saying, but I think it's helped them. I think they were struggling, and that's why I think it finally will.
Well, hopefully.
I hope so.
Next, id Software. They released Doom Eternal last year.
Last August.
Last March.
March?
Yeah, it was early. I remember it was early in the COVID stuff because I was like, yes.
No, you're 100% right because it came out the same day Animal Crossing did.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. They had all that stuff going on Twitter back and forth, which was amazing.
I
Those
bought
polar opposite games of all time.
I bought 2 games that day. Meh.
So, I don't know. I mean, it's like Doom has been a hit for them recently.
Well, they're getting ready to release the last expansion for Doom Eternal. I'm assuming they're working on the next.
I would think another Doom is on the way too.
Because this one was so well received again, and
I agree.
They know what they know what they're doing.
I agree.
God, does that mean Doom's going to be exclusive to Xbox going forward?
I would imagine.
Xbox and PC.
Fuck yeah! I forgot about that. That's awesome.
Wait, there we go. All right. NXL Entertainment, Wasteland 3. I assume that's kind of like their niche. Like
that style is totally them. So whatever it is, I don't know if it necessarily will be Wasteland 4, but the next game will be similar.
Something like that. Yeah. All right. Machine Games of Wolfenstein fame. And now currently making Indiana Jones.
They're gonna scrap the Indiana Jones project and go back to Wolfenstein.
We can only hope.
I can only hope. I'm sure I speak for the vast minority in that.
I'm 100% with you.
I can see them releasing something smaller though. Like what was the one after? It was the Old Blood. Then it was what was the one that was between 1 and 2?
New Blood.
Was it?
They weren't both Blood.
No, Old Blood. Oh no, because New
Order was okay. I put them together. New Order was actually Old Blood was the expansion.
Was the expansion because then 2,
right,
and then Young Blood was the expansion from there.
Correct.
Off of 2. So now we're gonna get Indiana Jones, which I mean, the fact they announced it, I think that's next year. Like I think that's 2022.
Maybe.
Like I just have that feeling.
I heard someone they talk about that trailer and how almost like identical it was to the Avengers trailer the first time that launched. They showed up and how long it's like 3 years after that thing came out.
Then they better have 2 fucking studios because I am not going that long without another Wolfenstein.
I think they do.
What do I get next? Another main branch Wolfenstein or another GTA? I'm just gonna move to the fucking South Pole and live in an igloo. Turn into a fucking ice cube.
After I need Wolfenstein.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if they have some kind of like smaller Wolfenstein interlude between right before Indiana Jones comes out in 3 years.
Think like another small one?
I think so.
Yeah.
I would think so.
The last small one wasn't that good.
I know, but the one before that was really good.
Yeah.
Do you want no Wolfenstein? Or do you want some Wolfenstein?
I want good Wolfenstein.
I want my cake and I want to eat it too.
I do.
No,
I do.
I hear you.
And I deserve it.
No, I know,
We all deserve that. After how good those other
I want
ones
full
were.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah, after how good the full other ones were.
I hear
Especially
that.
2. God damn.
I hear that.
I still think about that game sometimes.
Yep.
Okay, this is really ignorant of me, but is it Mojang or is it Mojang?
I've heard it pronounced both ways.
I'm gonna go Mojang because it's more fun to say. Minecraft and Minecraft Dungeons and Minecraft and more Minecraft.
Will they ever do a Minecraft 2?
No. At this point, no.
It's a platform, right?
I thought,
At this
yeah.
point?
It's like honestly, guys.
I was thinking about that while I was looking
No,
at the studios.
God, no.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Every once in a while, I said I haven't played in forever, but every once in a while, I see when the kids like roll through it. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. I don't know what I don't know what that enemy is.
Yeah.
I don't know what that element is. I don't know what that block is. Oh, look, that new different town.
And I agree with you guys. I don't think I think it's pointless.
They should just change their name to Minecraft Studios.
They really should.
Next, Ninja Theory.
Yeah.
We know they're working on Senua's Saga, which is Hellblade 2.
Oh yes.
Also, that Project Mara. Have you seen that yet?
That looks cool.
Like the super realistic. I don't know what the hell that's gonna be.
Horror.
Horror.
I think that's what they. I think they already confirmed.
Sorry,
yeah?
did you say horror?
Horror.
Not horror. Okay.
Not horror.
Mara's a whore. No, but yeah.
You know,
never know.
I didn't know. I haven't seen this. The trailer you guys are talking about, so I don't know what the hell's going on here.
They
It
modeled.
wasn't even like a trailer.
What,
it was like a tech demo.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
It felt very like Quantic Dream. Like,
Yes,
very.
yes.
I was like, here's a tech demo for
Yeah.
something we're doing in the future. That ends up being the thing that they're doing. But
It's like that thing with Kinect they had where you could like play with the dog or whatever. Way back to launch.
go
Let's not talk
check it
about
out. They modeled like their office like in this engine, and it was just like
It's impressive.
like there was no like the
It's-
uncanny valley was
yeah.
was gone. It was really unbelievable.
Other than that, I think they're working on something that we all are not going to expect. Kind of like
Bleeding edge.
like bleeding edge.
no, they can stop that whenever they want.
Well, they already did. I think.
I mean, they can
I
stop
think-
making games like that whenever they want. Just
Yeah.
make games like Hellblade
Yeah.
forever and ever. Obsidian, Outer Worlds most recently,
yeah.
also Grounded and Avowed, which they recently showed. That's probably a full. Everyone was thinking, Fallout New Vegas.
I think that is coming.
I think eventually.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
eventually it will.
After Avowed, I mean, because they already had Avowed going,
Right.
and then because I mean that, my guess is Avowed's going to be next year.
I think there's more of a chance of that happening now than ever.
Well, that's the thing, and then with the Bethesda,
Because now they own the Fallout
acquisition-
IP.
Yep,
Right.
I think that's the only reason why, because they started working on this already. So it's like, okay, we're going to finish this. Like, we're working on this. We're going to finish
How much time have
this.
you guys put into this? A couple of years? Yeah, you finished that first.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's how they're coming out. 22, 23, the latest would be my guess. And then New Vegas. And it wouldn't surprise me if they actually, towards the end of that development, start pulling people off. Right? We got to start, let's start working on that New Vegas too. Or if they start at least teasing it or something. But I don't know. Don't do what like Elder Scrolls did. That stupid like title screen.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they'll make. Outer Worlds did well for them, but I don't think it did well enough to like justify like a sequel. If they have an opportunity to make something
It'll be New Vegas.
like
too.
New Vegas
It'll be New Vegas too. Yeah, because that's essentially what Outer Worlds was, just in a different setting. Like
without the Vegas.
right.
That basically was a Fallout game.
Yeah, 100%.
exactly.
Which
Which is why I stopped playing after like a couple hours.
I played it for a really long one day. I played for like
That's the thing.
5 hours one day and
Yep.
never jumped back
Yep.
in it.
Whenever the next Fallout game comes out, it's a good thing it'll be on Game Pass because I've determined that when I play Fallout games until I get like to whatever the goal is of the person you were trying to find, and the story goes forever beyond that. But like I get to that point and I'm like, I'm good. I found Dad and we're set.
Right.
There you go.
I reached Las Vegas. I'm good. I killed all the cannibals.
Yeah, and I accidentally there was like was it like the whole like casino was all cannibals? Was that what it was?
One of them was I don't.
I didn't know what I was getting into. I thought I was just
Yeah.
breaking into a kitchen to like get some material, and I busted into like a hall, and they were all there, and I killed them all.
Yep. Yeah. I found out what they were doing, and I freaked out and killed the first one. Then they were all aggro on me, so they all had died.
Put them all through one door in the kitchen. I remember that vividly.
Then you can chop them up and feed them to the guests.
That's right.
Oh, playground games. Forza Horizon, currently making Fable.
Both of them are in development.
Both of them development.
Yeah, there's definitely another Horizon.
They'll do more of that.
Yeah. Rare. Sea of Thieves, and they had that game Everwild which they showed, which was been absent recently.
Which I think it's coming. I think they wanted to get a good chunk of it because like the last time they showed it off, it was like they really haven't shown technically gameplay. I don't
Yeah,
think yet.
I don't
For it.
think
So
at
I think
all.
they wanted to get it. That's why they went quiet, just to kind of get the hype going. And now they've got, I think E3 this year, we're going to see like a huge thing on that. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see it because what they've showed is pretty neat.
There's a new studio called Roundhouse.
All right.
That's all I know about that.
It's a kick my kid learn how to throw in Taekwondo.
Yeah, it's a new some new studio. I don't know.
Sure.
Next, Tango Gameworks, Evil Within, and currently making Ghostwire Tokyo, PlayStation 5 exclusive for a year. I'm sure. Same deal as Deathloop. The Coalition, they make Gears 5. They're gonna make more Gears, and then they're gonna put more expansion packs on Gears and more Horde mode on Gears, and then just keep making Gears. Yeah, and Gears. So that's what they're doing. The Initiative, we talked about that a little bit earlier. Perfect Dark. I'm still, the more and more I think about that, the more and more I am still being bummed about it. Like, I wanted to be excited for whatever the Initiative is doing because I want it to be something new. This might still be something new with a Perfect Dark, logo on top of it, which would be totally on board for.
See, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's going to be kind of like how the last Tomb Raider series started.
Okay,
like
I'd be down with
first,
that.
Like that first Tomb Raider of this past trilogy. I think it's like how it feels. Like it's like, okay, yeah, it's still Tomb Raider, but this is different. Like it's a totally different. And I kind of have that feeling that this is what it's going to be. It's like, yes, it's perfect. It's called Perfect Dark. It's a new Perfect Dark, though. I just have that gut feeling.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to crap on a game that had like a minute trailer and that was it so far. But like it's just I don't know. They're talking about this quadruple A initiative thing. I was just like I was really hoping for something just like to blow my socks off, and Perfect Dark doesn't do that for me. But the game might be great. Who knows? Turn 10, they make Forza Motorsport, and then Undead Labs, and they make State of Decay. They make State of Decay 3.
The way Turn 10, like the fact that they've announced like Forza, like when they announced it, it was just called Forza Motorsport.
Yeah.
That's turning into a platform for this game.
I say a
service for this generation. I think they've realized that they should just because they should like Gran Turismo should also be like that style as well because like those type of games, the way those games work, it's easy to just keep releasing truck packs and car packs and stuff like that.
Well, events
where like the horizon's different because you're going to different locations. So I can understand like Horizon still being a thing where it's like different. Like
in Horizon you're doing different types of races in different environments too.
Exactly.
And Lego stuff and like all kinds of
and
madness.
Hot Wheels and shit like that, which is incredible. But like this, I think it's going to be more of like, okay, here's one thing, and then like it's going to be on Game Pass. But then if you want more, you're buying the track packs and all that kind of stuff.
I think even they can put it on Game Pass, and you can keep getting the all that extra stuff as long as your subscription is active.
True.
And then you sell the base game to people who don't have Game Pass, and they can buy the track packs and the car packs. And
no, that's true.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Whatever funny money they have to buy cars and tracks.
Did I miss anything? There's the only ones I found.
The only other studio, and it's mainly PC, but it does. But with the way they're going, World's Edge.
Oh yeah.
They make the Age of Empires games. But we've been seeing a lot more real-time strategy games on consoles and stuff. It wouldn't shock me if they figure out a way to make Age of Empires work on consoles. Like, I think that would just benefit. I mean, it'd just be more money. Like, I mean, it's Game Pass, but still, I think it'd technically be...
Is more added benefits to the service.
Absolutely.
Are you saying, like, take Age of Empires 2 and make it work on console, or are you saying just start fresh with whatever the next one is and make it on both, work on both platforms?
I mean, I think you start with 2 because that's like their big one. Like, that's like their most popular. Everyone knows that one. Kind of like... there's another series that did that. They took an old PC game, they brought it to console with control. I can't think of the name of it. I can't. I'm blanking right now.
Is it something Kings or something?
God, I can't think of it.
I'm not gonna get it either.
Someone did something like that.
Civilization.
They took their popular their popular version of the game. Yeah. Made it for, but then the brand new one that they developed was PC and console.
I mean, they kind of did that with Civ 6.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, Civ 6 they did. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, hell, they put that on Switch even.
Well, yeah. So I can see them doing something like that, where kind of get the people going like, hey, if you've never played our Age of Empires, if you're a console player, if you've never played Age of Empires 2 is our, and they remastered that most recently. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they could, if they had controller support to that, like, hey, check out this game, and then. Oh, by the way, Age of Empires 5 is because I think 4 is already out for PC, isn't it? The newest.
I have no idea.
I forget whichever. They did release a new one like a couple of years ago, I believe, if I remember correctly. So like the next one then will be on Series X as well
Gotcha.
as console. So, but yeah, no, but that's pretty much it. And then like I said, the Undead Labs with State of Decay. I mean, 2 was a huge step forward, and I think they've also learned a lot because I hear that's another game I hear has gotten better as it's like since launch. So I think State of Decay 3 is gonna blow people away.
Very cool. There you go. That is all the first parties and what we know they're working on, what we think they're working on. Hope we're right. We have some good ideas there, guys.
All 2022 and forward. Nothing's coming out this year.
No, man. God. All right. Real rapid fire. Does God of War Ragnarok come out this year?
No.
No.
Let me go back to my list. Hold on. I already closed it. Perfect Dark.
No.
Everwild.
No.
No.
Fable.
No.
God, no.
Avowed.
No.
No.
Hellblade 2.
No.
I'll give that one a maybe.
I'm gonna give that one a firm maybe.
I'll give that a maybe.
Maybe's a non-answer here. This is a yes, no.
I know, but that one.
If I had to put my actual money on it, I'd say no.
I would say actual money, no, but I think there's potential for it to be released.
Starfield.
No.
That was a joke. Wait, I said God of War. I said that one. Wait.
Gran Turismo was already delayed.
Gran
right?
Turismo.
I'll say yes to the show.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
the show will come out, yeah. And on Xbox.
And the only one that we kind of like know, what Horizon Forbidden West.
I think it's gonna get a last minute delay.
I think
I had that feel. It's gonna get like that Last of Us 2 like delay.
You know what? If they're gonna hit it with a last minute delay, can they delay it enough so that they just don't have to worry about the last gen consoles, and they can just optimize it for the new consoles?
I 100% will agree with you there. They won't, but I 100% agree with you there.
I know they won't. That's, as I said before, you're cutting 100 million potential sales out of your equation if you do that.
We still haven't seen gameplay yet.
I haven't seen anything. Like we saw that one trailer. That was, I mean, the quick trailer. That was it.
Next trailer. That was really it. We saw. I mean, it is a working engine they already had. I don't think. I'm gonna say no. I think COVID got it.
And that's the thing too. I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, look at like Gothic Knights got delayed till next year, which is sad.
Also, yes to Ratchet and Clank.
Oh yeah, Ratchet and Clank's coming out for sure this year.
Yeah. Art, you are just
that is
you're on point right now.
See,
that's coming.
And this is how you win contests in this podcast.
Makes
obvious
decisions.
See,
you do a contest about who's going to be in Smash. You just pick all the characters that have been in Smash already.
I can't believe
you
that
see.
happened.
You see this. This is why Art wins the E3 every year because he doesn't have fun with it.
He's like someone on the Ubisoft stage is going to speak with a French accent. Like, what the
shocker.
You play to win the game.
That's no fun.
Rainbow Six
fun.
Rainbow Six is going to be in Ubisoft's presentation. Shocking. It doesn't matter what they do; it's going to be there. Shocking.
I always love our E3 predictions because always just like Steak is always like way off the deep end. I'm somewhere in between.
This dead for 2 decades franchise is going to come back.
Hey. We've had some good. Some of my predictions have happened. It's been amazing.
Sure.
But it would be the most amazing E3 ever if all my predictions ever came true.
No doubt. Art's like the super literal, like this is going to happen. We all know this is going to happen, but we didn't say in the rules that we can't say this is going to happen, so he states it's going to happen.
Well, here's the thing. Like we say we're going to do this, and I have my predictions written down, and like 2 days before we podcast, it's like
Walmart leaks on
me. No shit. Walmart Canada. And I'm somewhere in between. We're like, I'm going to do a couple Dreamer ones, but I want to get some points because one day I got to beat Art. So that's where we're at.
I mean, E3's dead at this point, so
yeah, I don't know. That's a bummer.
I saw something online that E3's like floating the idea of doing a like digital pass for E3. I'm like,
oh my god,
what would you give people for their money?
Access to trailers I can get literally in like dozens upon dozens of outlets.
Well, here's what's going to happen. Someone's going to pay you the money for that, and they're going to copy those trailers and post them for everyone else to see.
Yeah, exactly. That's you can't hide trailers in like quote unquote conferences like behind those paywalls. It just won't work. Like, and BlizzCon realized that. Like last year they tried that and it didn't go well. So this year they didn't even try fighting that this year.
Like the only thing you could potentially do is give like Steam keys for demos.
Yeah.
Unless there's like some kind of like they have like a town hall like question and answer thing that you get access to because you have that pass.
Right.
If you get, like
like a live Twitch with like the developer.
Exactly, like that.
Whatever.
I mean, something like that. Like you pay for access. Just like at a Comic-Con, you do that. If you want to like shake someone's hand, you got to pay money to do that. So I can see like that being a thing to do it, but just like that would be the only real avenue I would think that'd be legitimate and like you could do it because like the question and answer thing, yes, the question and answer portion of it is going to get aired later on by someone else, but I wouldn't have the ability to ask a question if I'm watching the video later.
But also the problem with that though is like then you have to really be careful and limited because like who knows if your question will even get answered? You pay all that money and then who knows if it even gets answered? Like at that point,
I would think at that point.
Technically, when you go to a con, that's kind of what happens anyways. Even if you have a question, you might not be able to answer it or whatever. But I don't know. I
feel like it would be one of those things where like they'd have to do it where it's like, hey, okay, you bought a pass. On this day, we're gonna have signups for the queues for all these different presentations.
Yeah.
Pick the one or two you want to get into, and when the queue fills, that's it.
That's true.
Just dystopian future.
It's the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
It's a bad idea.
It's just trying to make some kind of revenue and like
over the last. They didn't have E3 last year, so the 2 years prior. So over the last 3 years, E3's just turned into a cash grab. Ever since they introduced the Gamer Pass and they started letting the general public in, it's gone from an industry event to a cash grab.
Yeah, I mean,
and this is just an extension of that.
Yeah.
If they do it.
Yeah, call it a fan fest. Get it over with. It's not an expo anymore.
Just call it PAX. Only not as organized.
They had like the weird mix of like devs trying to sell their shit and like fans rolling around. Like, can I get in line? Anyway,
there's a girl I work with who went to it 2 years ago with the Gamer Pass. She's like, I was there for 3 days. I tried one game each day. Brutal. I waited in line all day. That sounds
that's the thing. And even when I went, like it was not open like that, and I still stood. Like I played stuff, but I still stood in line.
Yeah.
And then the big games, the minute they opened those doors, I had to run. Like I had to like. The first day was always the mapping day of where's everything at, and then the second day is like, okay, I want to play Metal Gear Rising. I remember that was the year Metal Gear Rising was coming out. I'm like, I want to play this. The minute those doors open, I raced, and I was still like 10th in line, even running my ass off, and knew exactly where I was going. Like it's crazy
madness.
But even then, like the lines were for some of those games, for some games, like especially like the big ones, like Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
The line for that every day was ridiculous. I was just like, this isn't happening.
It's a great game.
Like, I'm just not going to.
All right. I think that's all the studios. That's all we got for you guys today. And we will see you next time, Stickheads.